Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog, and just got done watching the Raptors play the Miami Heat, and I've been looking for an excuse to talk about the Raptors recently. I think they're a pretty interesting team, and I almost think they're a team that doesn't get the credit that they properly deserve. They're currently ninth in the East. Their record's 23-23. They're about to move, I think, up into 8th. They'll be 24-23. Right now, Boston is 25-25. But I think Boston won tonight, so I'm not sure. Maybe they stay in their current spot. I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little more. But just some initial first impressions. The Raptors just went to a triple overtime game with the Miami Heat. They ended up winning, and I'm going to be honest, I think at this point in time, I feel like we can safely say that the Toronto Raptors won the Norman Powell for Gary Trent trade, because Gary Trent played his ass off tonight and has been on a hot streak recently. And I feel like the Raptors are a team that are finally starting to gel, and they're going to get better going into the second half of the season. Watched them play tonight. Couple things that I like to see is, for example, Scottie Barnes, their rookie. I've noticed that he's taking more three-pointers, which is a good thing, especially in his first year, because I watched him play in the beginning of the year, his first couple games, and I noticed he wasn't taking many threes. He was taking one, maybe two. Tonight, he took at least three. I didn't count how many he took, but I noticed he was shooting threes. I think he took like maybe 5 or 6. Which for a guy who doesn't shoot the three very well, I think that's very important for the Raptors going forward, because, as good as Gary Trent Jr. is, I feel like the Raptors really suffer when he comes out of the game. I'm not sure why, but it felt like every time Gary Trent Jr. checked out of this game, the Miami Heat just started coming back. And, obviously he's not the best player on the team, but right now, he's definitely, top 3, arguably top 2. So that's something I do want to say. They played pretty good defense tonight. I will say that the Raptors have always been a good defensive team, but if they can figure out some things on offense, man, they're going to be really, really good. And they're a team that I think could just surprise a lot of people in the second half of the season this year. They're in the play-in at the current point in time. They're 9th in the NBA right now in the East. And I really think this is a team that going forward is going to continue to get better. Now, I will say this is a team that I think we need to look out for next year, because if Scottie Barnes continues to develop, they have Siakam, who I've seen a lot of people trash Siakam. I got a guy who I work with who's a Raptors fan, and he's like really just a fan of Canada as a whole, and he's a fan of all the Canadian sports teams, and he thinks Pascal Siakam sucks, and he would rather take Sabonis over Siakam, and I've been telling him I would do the trade forever, because Siakam's been playing his ass off recently. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but there's kind of a narrative that goes around about Pascal Siakam that he's a bad player or doesn't play up to his potential or whatever. And this season, particularly since he's come back and, started playing, I've noticed he's been playing very well. Is he ever going to get like a max contract ever again? I don't know, maybe, but is it going to be worth like what he got paid before? I don't think so. He's played very well, though. I will say this. I really think Pascal Siakam is not getting the credit he deserves. This Raptors team is competitive. They fight. And tonight, they took the Miami Heat to 3 games. And the Miami Heat are not 3 games, 3 overtimes. And they're a good team. Miami's not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. And they actually ended up winning. So I don't know, man. Just towards the end, it felt like there was a lot of really, weird, stupid things going on. Like, this was a very physical game. I've noticed Bam Adebayo ended up on the floor like 2 or 3 times, just falling down. PJ Tucker had it happen to him once. Very physical game, very grinded out game. And big win for Toronto, man. I am gonna say that, big win. I'm very excited to see how this team improves in the future, especially with Scottie Barnes, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam. Part of the reason I enjoy watching the Raptors is because I think that they're, what the Pacers should have been. And, because they have enough star talent. And Scottie Barnes, man, Scottie Barnes is going to be very, very good. If you're Toronto, okay, if you can keep this core together and let Scottie Barnes just continue to improve his outside shooting, and Scottie Barnes has the making of Kawhi Leonard. And you know what? It's crazy to say that because, ever since Kawhi Leonard left the Raptors, they've really been missing that star player who can really, make them a transcendent team. And I think Scottie Barnes has the potential to do that. He's very good in every aspect of his game. He's just not a consistent shooter or a really super consistent free throw shooter. And he's only 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's very, very good, and he's only 20. And I think to myself, this is a kid who has a chance to become a very, very good basketball player. So if Toronto can keep this core together, they're going to be very good. On the other side of things, the Miami Heat, played their asses off, shot like shit tonight. They really didn't, shots just weren't falling for them, it seemed. Gabe Vincent had, some kind of stupid plays. I don't know why. It felt like every time I was looking up at the screen, Gabe Vincent was committing a turnover or a stupid foul or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about Gabe Vincent. I don't think he's a terrible player. I just think he's, he does a lot of really dumb things sometimes, and that's just the way I feel about that. Jimmy Butler had a hell of a game. Bam Adebayo coming back really helped them out. But tonight they just I think I can't even really say that I think the better team won this game. I think Toronto just wanted it more than Miami. Miami still has yet to have Victor Oladipo come back, but very, very fun game to watch, I will say that. And if you're a Raptors fan and you're watching this video, you should definitely feel good about your future, especially if they can keep this team together. That's the big thing, is if the Raptors can actually keep this team together, because they're very solid. Especially Gary Trent Jr., man. Gary Trent Jr. has become way better on defense than I thought he would ever be. He's averaging, there's some games he's getting 5-6 steals. He's playing defense. He's shooting threes. This whole team is collapsing whenever they're trying to attack. One thing I will say about Toronto tonight is they forced Miami to shoot jump shots. And real quick, Max Strus as well for the Miami Heat. He was a really good pickup for them. He's one of those guys that, kind of has just come onto the scene. And Miami has a tendency to do that, just find guys that, kind of get overlooked, or guys who are undrafted, or guys who have been kind of, shunned from the league or whatever. And turning them into really, really good players. And Max Strus has been a guy who recently has been kind of on a tear for Miami. Ever since they've been giving him more minutes, the dude's been a fucking flamethrower from three. But yeah, man, a very, very good game. And the Raptors they're legit. I think the Raptors are legit. I think the Raptors, I'm just going to throw this out here at the end of this video. I think the Raptors have the ability to finish as maybe a 5th or 6th seed in the East this year and actually make the playoffs. This team fights for every win, and I think they're only getting better. To see Scottie Barnes now shooting more than one or two three-pointers a game, they're going to start falling at some point in time. And if by next year Scottie Barnes can be the guy that I think he is, and that Raptors fans think he is, Toronto could be a scary fucking team. That's all I'm saying. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I've been the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.